Hello and welcome to 67 Takes, our wonderful podcast between two longtime friends about culture and ideas. Welcome to our host John and our wonderful, worldwide, hyper-intellectual, super-cultural, and very thoughtful, and a little bit lazy that just likes to sit there and listen to two guys talk about nothing. Wonderful, worldwide, international audience. Welcome.
Did you just welcome our lazy audience?
Well, let's be honest. A
lot of people listen to these while driving and just, they're maximizing time. They're being efficient. That's a quote from the last episode.
I know I shouldn't abuse the audience right away, but sometimes you have to give them a little zinger. You can't be too, what's it called when you're always kowtowing? Oh, the wonderful audience will do anything for you. You lazy bunch of no good bums just sitting around listening to us talk about. No, that's dangerous. We shouldn't.
If you haven't noticed, we are from the East Coast, the Northeast to be exact. Maybe not physically at this time, but those are our roots, and that is actual pleasantry from people from Massachusetts. So don't take it personally. Welcome to episode 14, I think, and we'll see where this goes.
Episode 14, nice.
I'd like to. I want to hear one of your notes there, Shawnee. And
okay.
we're recording on a new platform, so there may be of no concern to you, the audience, but
it may be even better, clearer,
we'll
stronger signals, crisper sound, nicer visuals.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't have.
With completely wet hair.
I shouldn't have insulted the audience. We either got to edit that out, or I got to backtrack and apologize. I was just having one of my little insecure breakdowns. I hope you
fine. I don't think if anybody took it personally, they would have left by now, and that's their decision.
And gone on to another doom scrolling project.
There you go.
Notes, let's see. Okay, what gives life meaning? Let's start right away with something light and easy. How about it, studio audience? What gives life meaning? I'll go first. My first gut instinct to that, or a question like that, is strawberries.
That's just as valid as any other answer.
Thank you. Thank you. I know it's basic. It's so basic, but it's indicative of the idea that it's the little things that matter. And that's just my first, when I'm trying to put myself in a good mood, it's like my happy place sometimes is strawberries, where it's like, okay, so the planet yields this little red berry that's just so beautiful and tart and juicy, and just when you bite into it, so it's just there for the picking. So there's these little reminders literally all over the planet that help me get through. I mean, it's funny because I said strawberries, berries in general, cranberries, apple, oranges, fruits, and here's one thing. You're laughing. He wants to get deeper. We're starting up high. We'll get down to the deeper things that make life meaningful. But what do all of these fruits have in common?
They are life themselves.
Excellent. That's good too. But I was going to say all berries and fruits and apples and tomatoes, all of those things, squash, they start out as flowers. So I'm not super into flowers unless they're edible flowers. I mean, they're beautiful and everything. But a lot of people love flowers. Women tend to. My sister loves flowers. She just grows them, picks them, looks at them, smells them.
Amazing things.
They are.
So your question, the meaning of life, is more about what makes life meaningful. Is more what you addressed, if I read it correctly.
Yes. What gives life meaning?
Yeah, yeah.
Is how I paraphrased your question.
That's beautiful. That's your answer was beautiful.
Mine was a partial answer. I mean,
Yeah.
there might even be more. Okay, to continue on. So then, stop me. Oh, here's another note. It's more of a production note, but it's to you, the host, John. Not that you are, but please don't be afraid to cut me off. I won't be offended if my.
I just tried to and I couldn't.
Okay, so
Carry on.
Your turn. Okay, mine devolved to broccoli, which is also a kind of flower or floret. And then it went on to burgers and fries. Then it's watching the squirrels out my window, animals, seeing how, like dogs, pets, how beautiful and great animals are. And animals and sounds like hearing an owl at night. That's always makes me feel like I'm in a magical kingdom. Like it's a beautiful night and all of a sudden you hear the ooh, 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 like some creature out there in the woods all alone, just or not. I guess it's a call. So I guess that is a social thing for them. I'm guessing.
I believe there's purpose to it, yes. And interestingly enough, I have a one-word answer for your pondering question there. What makes life meaningful is interaction, and that can be with all forms of life. That can be eating fruit, flower-based plants.
Interaction, yes.
Yeah.
Connection.
Yeah, because it's hopefully, at this time in human history, it's unpredictable. There's now strange philosophers out there who give credence to the fact that life is programmed or we're a simulation. It'd be kind of strange to be part of a simulation and be aware of it, I think. So I think that would render it not a simulation, but it's
very interesting proof, if you will, that it's probably somewhat likely that it's not an actual full simulation where we've been created, programmed, and set in motion by some. Because why would we, or is he giving us a false awareness? Like we think he's programmed in the awareness, or she, or it, or them.
Right. Right.
But no, I like it. I like the logic there. It's probably not a simulation because then we wouldn't be able to be aware of it and look behind the curtain.
Right. Right. And, lately at this point in my life, the main reason for living and the meaning of life for me is my family, which is now my 2 children.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's 90% of my purpose in life right now. So
huge meaning to my life came in when I had my young children and I was in charge, taking charge of trying to help them, care for them. And even though now when they're older, I sometimes feel a little guilty, like I don't have enough contact with my kids and I'm not as involved in their lives as I should be. But it's funny. I think of them all the time.
That's awesome.
Whether I talk to them.
And just a note, Sean's children are adults.
Yes, they're
mine are 5 and 7. So
mine are 35 and 33, and Amina's 39.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible. But you still think about them all the time. They're still
Every day, not a day
Okay,
goes
good.
by.
That's a beautiful thing to hear. So
It is. Sometimes it's a guilty thought, like I should be calling them, but then I wimp out. I don't want to intrude into their lives, and they're
oh,
here. They can call me. Call me up, kids.
it takes two. It takes two to
No
have a
pressure. Call
relationship.
me if you want. I know you're busy. No pressure. But yeah, no, I got to get back to being a more
You
active
know,
dad. But that's great. Like in when they're young and you're there for them, and it's a really
it's
meaningful.
yeah, it's an amazing thing. And you just brought up maybe a little rabbit hole we could go down. Um, just be even if there's no contact involved or minimal or less than you desire contact, it doesn't diminish your feelings for them, right? Like it's still a
Mhm.
very strong relationship in your perspective, right? Like I have friends like your brother I don't really have any contact with at all, but I love that guy more, as as much as you, just a good friend. And there's a beauty to that, that knowledge of
Totally.
I can't put it into words, but
That's a very interesting concept. Now, you talked about interaction, and we connect that to connection or connectivity between each other. So, friendship lasts. It's a
yes.
connection that's there no matter what. And
Yeah, not in every case. There's people I've been really good friends with, lost contact with, and I it is what it
mhm,
is, It's, death, I guess, or, things fade out of existence too. But some things stay persistent.
isn't that interesting how some of our friendships fall away and sort of, like you say, I guess die is a strong word unless the person actually dies.
It's a strong word, but
But it's a good word. It feels like that
it's a
some
metaphor
friendships
for
go very dormant, if you will. And
or
um,
they could have run their course. I mean, not all relationships are. This is my perspective, my take, if you will, here on 67 takes. Not all relationships are meant to be lifetime relationships. Maybe not meant to be, but yeah, I think it's okay to allow that.
sure, they serve their purpose and they shift and change with the changing tides, seasons,
Yeah,
years, epochs,
yeah, because
epochs.
we're always changing, and when two things are changing, it's very hard for them to stay in sync for a lifetime.
Correct.
Um,
Correct.
God, our conversations get very existential when I jump into
Nice. I hope so. I want him to get existential. I'd like him to even get expressionistic. What's the word? Yeah, German expressionism.
It's the power of introducing strawberries into a conversation, and I don't even like strawberries, but my children do.
You don't like them?
I don't know.
It's a tactile thing.
It pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not big
texture.
on, yeah, not big on fruits, but my children, I provide all kinds of fruits for my kids when they're here.
It doesn't always hit right, and sometimes I cheat and I augment them with some cream and some sugar, and wow, they're
That's okay.
really good like that.
Now, I have here later in life, I've come to enjoy gardening,
Mm.
and that activity with my children is really cool because their wonder at things sprouting, planting a seed and it sprouts out of the ground. I still have that wonder, but it's cool to see it in the early stages, to witness the wonders of life.
That's actually a beautiful metaphor for, again, the theme of the meaning of life, or what gives life meaning. Like, to grow and tend the earth has got to be a primal and very healthy or earthy activity. Like, to bring, they say touch grass, get back to your roots,
Mm-hmm.
be one with the earth. And
Become grounded.
thank you. I was looking for that phrase. There's even people that go so far as to say that the earth is our mother, the earth is a living creature that bore us, still bears us, and holds us, and maybe we're just a composite part of the earth, an organism that is part of a greater, the planet as a whole. Like, we all make up the earth together.
Yes, it's yeah, we can go real deep with that.
I'm not saying that's exactly what I believe, but I sometimes like to think about, and you talk about interaction. So again, connectivity. So every human, we're all connected to each other physically through the planet.
Absolutely. Just a little side thing to ponder on. Astronomers have been mapping the universe, the best they can, the best humans can. And it's very interesting what the structure of the universe looks like, because it's very similar to like our nervous system. It's incredible.
Whoa.
It's hard to even comment on. It just makes you think like, whoa,
I think I've seen some schematics or diagrams where they show like a spinal nervous system, then they show the galaxy, and it's like the exact same,
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
same design.
Similar. Yeah. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
The fractal nature of nature, of flowers and shells, how they have their
Yeah.
spirals and their veins and their structures, skeletal and whatnot.
Right. It's funny you say fractal, because there's also times where nature is very precise in its structure and stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of, like, I think it's Saturn, but the poles, the top and bottom of the planet, the weather systems form hexagons, not a circle. It's a really strange. Let's see if John, the editor, can throw a picture up here. But it's like, you can't take anything for granted. It's amazing.
Wow.
And some things, I think they can explain it, but some things are just, part of magic is not explain, not seeking the reality to the illusion that is magic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Resigning to just believe it rather than prove it or understand it.
Yeah. Really, truly, YouTube has everything I need. I post on Facebook. There's a reason for it. Just to show that the kids are well and active. That's the only thing I really use Facebook for. And
Facebook's
I've noticed
nice.
nobody cares about opinions on Facebook. It's not a platform for it anymore, I think.
That's why Facebook, I mean, there is some politics and whatnot, but it's much more just like a photo album.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice way to keep in touch. Again, talk about long-term friendships, new friendships. It's
Right.
a nice, I like to just go in and I sometimes just hit like on people's stuff. I don't got to say hi. I just show them I'm still alive. You're still alive. I still think you're cool.
It's reassuring to know that, like, like some friends from high school I'd never talked to after high school or whatever. It's reassuring to know that they're alive, and it's just a good feeling, and we're still, life is a fight, and we're survivors.
Big time.
We're
Big time. I
surviving
can't
life.
believe we made it this far. I never thought I'd make it past 18.
Yeah, one of my notes on my desk. I had to learn to survive my marriage. I don't want to get into it, but it's a very poignant quote to me because as I ponder it, it's reality. And it helps me get the clarity I need about the divorce and all this. Is like, you were really surviving the marriage. You were, that's the reality of it.
Whoa.
And that slow move with your glasses really freaked me out. I was like, oh my God, Sean, there's an alien behind you.
That's for the next podcast. We can zoom me out.
Wouldn't that be interesting? This podcast will not be broadcast this week because one of the hosts was abducted.
Here, let's see if you're going to edit me out. Do a little special effect, then I'll be gone.
No, I'm not. Get back here.
Oh my God, John, it was incredible. It was incredible. They took me up. No one's going to believe this. This will be for the next podcast. I will discuss my alien abduction. It just happened. Whoa.
That's a good topic for a future podcast. Aliens and do they exist and the possibility of it. Can you write a note about that?
Will do. And I'm seriously going to give at least a small 3 minutes to the actual alien abduction. Aliens. Aliens.
Potential. Hopefully, maybe we'll get some feedback from our viewers about.
Yeah, like, don't you dare. You guys don't know nothing about aliens. It's obvious. Well, I was just in a space shuttle with a bunch of them they were trying to find some stuff out.
Here's a disclaimer, or not a disclaimer, a reality. Here's some reality for our audience.
Oh.
At times, things we say are humorous, and they may not come off as humor because there was an interaction today. I replied to a post on YouTube about one of our shorts. I think I told you about it.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Maybe we'll play that and review the post on our next episode.
Yes,
if I can figure out the technology of doing that, but I think we can do that. And we might have 2 episodes this week. We'll see. Unless we keep one in reserve. I don't know. We'll see.
Yes, we might be suffering an acute case of workaholism, which might actually help me financially or definitely mentally keep me active. And disclaimer, nothing I say is real, true, or right. Most of my stuff I get from Twitter. A lot of stuff I make it up. I am a fiction writer and a poet. Actually, I want to be so brave. Yes, I'm a poet sometimes. Well, read us one of your poems next time. I mean, I'm a terrible poet, but I'm a poet.
We're all poets,
and so
viewed as such.
A lot of what I say, I don't want to say is baloney, but it's like fiction. It's fantasy. I just have fun with it. I make stuff up. I mean, when I do try to tell facts, I'll try to look them up, but I hope that you, the lovely audience, cuts us some slack and just wants to sort of glide. How did Lennon put it? Turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream.
Now, 2 observations.
Mm-hmm.
As far as we know, this is for the audience, we're not AI, so we are real entities. Why that popped in my head, but
yeah, it's almost weird that you would bring that up. Like, by the way, we're real. Can we put that in writing somewhere? I'm going to write it down. We are real.
And it's later in the day than normal recording for you, isn't it? Because I can tell because the light is fading on you.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yes. I might. I do have a rudimentary lighting system that I can kick on if need be. Let me
It's
know
up
if
to
I
you.
fade from view.
It is up to you.
Um, let's see how it goes. This is like the movie Rope, where the sun just keeps
Right.
slowly setting.
Such a great movie.
A very fascinating as far as the direction and the storytelling.
It's a great story.
It is.
It's a brutal story.
It's
They killed the guy for fun. You
what
know,
a story. Yeah, no, it's so creepy. It's so creepy.
it
And
is.
it's creepy because it's relatable. I don't want to get into it.
Okay.
I'll incriminate. Well, no, I mean
Maybe at some
Rope.
maybe someday we can. I would love to go over some of those old movies.
Yeah, yeah, no, I can get into it. I just don't want to get into how much I really relate to the subject matter and like,
We
but
all
I
do.
think everyone has a fascination with death. We're all going to have to deal with it, and we all deal with it. We all deal
Every
with it.
everyone has a dark side, and
Yes. Yes.
whether they confront it. And I don't. I don't want to go too deep on that.
Yeah. Yeah. We need preparation. We need our writing staff. I need some help here. Help me out of a jam. I Back to the original theme. What gives life meaning? I have hearing an owl at night, watching a murmur of sparrows in the sky when they move together, and to me it looks like someone shook black pepper in the sky and then it came to life and just keeps. And that again is their connectivity. They're doing this in tandem. They're doing this in relation to each other. And a school of fish too, if you watch them school around and the way they move as one. And I guess humans do
Incredible.
it too. We work
Really?
together in a community. If you look at like
Yeah.
a crowd from above, they sort of move together, or in a concert,
Yeah. It's an interesting
or a
observation.
military operation,
Yeah.
dance troupe.
Those I don't think those are as instinctual as like the swarm of fish or
Swarm of fish, school of fish, swarm of
school of fish. There we
mosquitoes.
go.
No, you're right.
Swarm
It's okay.
swarm is more insect related.
Watching the squirrels out my window, I just love to watch what they jump around. They get me inspired. I go out and do my cartwheels because I'm like, I wish I could jump across building to building like Spider-Man. I just love squirrels. They fascinate me.
I wonder if they ever look at us and go, I wish I could use a fork. You know, well, I'm saying the opposable thumb. That's what separates us, I think, in our evolution.
I sometimes feel like, because there's a kitchen window where I cook and make dinner, and there's a tree right in front of the window where a squirrel lives in a hole, and I swear the squirrel is watching me like, what are you making now? Whoa, that looks good. Oh man, I wish I was coming to dinner. Like, I feel like, I swear they're looking, but
I bet no, they are, and thank God. It's a beautiful thing. It's more connectivity. Their inquisitiveness and
awareness.
yeah, yeah.
So that put me to the next note of things that give life meaning: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling. The senses, what we perceive, how we perceive it, and different levels, like poor people that may have vision impairment or hearing problems or all these kind of problems, so that we take for granted the beauty and miracle of what we can see and watch and look. Then that led me to write emotions. And I know these are very general.
It's all you can be.
but about what gives life meaning, emotions, like the good and the bad. Sadly, another thing that gives life meaning is probably struggle,
Yeah.
toil, and like problems that you gotta, that keep you like going in a way.
I view it more as, you know, the problem, a path to growth. Not so much meaning, but it's the evolution of the individual and how, you know, how they process.
Growth.
Yeah. Ooh, I like the lighting.
Thank you. Thank you. Growth also can translate to learning and growing
Yeah, that's exactly.
spiritually and emotionally and
It's not that it can, it is. That was the point of what I was saying.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Just to clarify. I don't know. Have you ever met anybody who's pretty much like just stagnant? Like you don't see growth in them? I occasionally I've run into people like that, and I have no interest in interacting with those people. And you know, there's many reasons, and I'm sure it's not as apparent as first, you know, the first take of, or you know, the first impression of that person.
Yes, and your perception, and at that time in their lives and that time
Yeah.
in your life, it might perceive as they're stagnant, whereas they may be just recovering from some kind of thing, or they may be about to enter. But because even sometimes I wonder if I reach these sort of plateaus in my life where I
Right.
really need some kind of
Yeah.
a jump start. That's why
Good.
these shows that we do are in some ways therapeutic, and maybe you use the word cathartic for me personally as a tool to break out of, I mean, I should break out of it even more. I should be on the street talking to people and interacting, which I will in the summer. And I did my time on Venice Beach. I do these exercises, if you will, to try to battle my own shyness, my own introverted self. And so,
Use some good keywords there, because you know I've been going through a struggle in my life in the past year. I've stopped labeling it a struggle. It's a new growth, and I speak with my therapist, and she brought up the word plateau. You know, I hit a milestone. I haven't cried once during this whole thing with my health issues and the brutal divorce I went through.
that's astounding in a way.
Yeah, well, I was getting bothered by it. Like, what is wrong with me? I can't cry. I'm like in so much pain inside. But I've come to the realization that I will cry, but there's just so many question marks because there's no clarity to anything right now. I mean, that's what I'm striving for, is clarity and some kind of understanding. And, you know, the end of my relationship was devastating to me. There's no clarity because I wasn't, you know, I don't want to diss anyone, but I'd been married to an illusion basically, because she suffers from disorder, and her coping mechanisms apparently are just so radical that they're foreign to me. You know what I mean? Um, so I'm slowly coming to that acceptance. And, you know, I had a breakthrough yesterday with my therapist. I actually got tears in my eyes, and they were good. It was so good.
Wow,
And, you know,
that is good. I
and that
think.
happened last week as well. You know, I lost a good friend. I don't want to get into that now.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's tough, man.
Yeah, that's a whole story, but
Oh, jeepers.
yeah, it was out of the blue, but I
Oh,
don't know
no.
where I was going with any of that.
Yeah. Plateau, growth,
But
struggle,
keywords, yeah, there were keywords, and growth is, it's a beautiful thing.
meaning,
You know,
meaning.
yeah,
It's all based on the your first topic of what gives life meaning.
right, right. Yeah, I think when you lose that, you lose, when you get confused by life, um, meaning's not as clarified.
Apparent, yeah, it's not as
Yeah, apparent.
tangible.
And as you gather it back, it's life is just beautiful again, It's
Awesome. I love to hear that.
what
Hear
we all
that.
strive for,
Hear
a
that
beautiful life.
hopeful, a hopeful, beautiful life. You got it here on 67 Takes. We bring you hope and optimism and also dreary dread and
I know, I'm
pessimism. But
sorry.
they go in tandem.
It's all, yeah, you're absolutely right, I
And
mean, what a boring
so,
life it would be if it was all happy Disney movies.
yes, that would turn into a hell of everything was perfect all the time. There's been so many movies like that and stuff where heaven, it just gets so repetitive that it turns into a nightmare.
Right.
Um, so the notes, let's see. So I talked about things that, involve me or distract me or give me hope or meaning, like the sound of an owl. And then I stumbled into this clip from a show that's on Apple TV called Pluribus, which stars an actress named Rhea Seehorn, who's caught my attention. And there's this scene where she's standing on the hill and the train's going by, and she said, "I love the sound of a train horn." And then it goes off, choo, choo. And she said, "It's the loneliest sound in the world."
Yes.
And I love that scene. I don't subscribe to the show. It's by the same guy that did Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And it's set and filmed in Albuquerque for the most part, this new one called Pluribus. It's actually a somewhat of a sci-fi where supposedly aliens, as we talked about, have taken over everyone and turned them into complacent, objective hive mind where, like you talked about, there's no more struggle. So this star actress played by Rhea Seehorn is somehow immune to the hive mind and she can still see and think and feel. I just like this guy. There's things about those series that I don't like, and I never watched Better Call Saul, and I've not watched Pluribus, but I've caught it again on Twitter, is where I get a lot of my. But this actress Rhea Seehorn got some real accolades. She's quite stunning and very interesting. Her acting is great,
Yeah.
and
Back to the train horn and
yeah,
the significance of that sound. Another one that's always stood out with me, and I remember. Do you remember Dee Dee Kaloran?
yeah.
Like one of my very early girlfriends.
Never forget old D,
Know exactly what happened to her.
young D.
She once, the sound of a propeller airplane going over, flying by, the Doppler effect as it gets louder and then fades out, and just, she's like, that is the best sound in the world. And that always stuck with me because I agree wholeheartedly. It's just like an amazing thing. If you can take the time to tune out the rest of the world and that happens, it's incredible.
I get moved by the sound of an airplane flying way, way high overhead. When I hear it especially at night or when the world is quiet, like you say, and all of a sudden there's this traveler above me. Some mysterious, maybe it's a military guy, maybe it's a passenger, maybe it's a pilot, but it just sparks this sense of wonder in me, like, who is that? Where are they going? They're going so far. Maybe someday I'll be in a plane going so far, and yes, it's a wonderful sound.
Right.
Very haunting.
Right. And I really think if you can, this is more about Zen or some state of mind, you know what I mean? You can find beauty in just about anything if you can focus on it, you know what I mean? And tune out and just focus on something. There is wonder and beauty. And that's, you know, just a really broad full circle of a lot of our topics, you know, that's.
But here
I think that's
it is.
the key to like artists, like say a painting, for example. If the artist can grab that attention of a person where they can zone everything out and focus on the art, then by God, they've done their job, you know?
Well, I love your idea of finding beauty in anything and everything, even the small things like a pen. To find the beauty in the small little things that we overlook is a way to give meaning to things and to give meaning to life. And so that's another reason why I love this quote from Pluribus. I've never watched the show, but I am a fan of Vince Gilligan, the creator, and his show Breaking Bad. And then I wanted to mention there was an actor that I noticed named Bob Odenkirk, who was the star of Better Call Saul. And I never really climbed onto that show too good. And the Better Call Saul, the Saul character was so goofy in Breaking Bad, and then it had a whole spinoff. And I'm not a huge fan of sequels that come after the fact, but they're actually prequels. So they supposedly, so Better Call Saul supposedly happened before. To me, that's too much of an afterthought. It's kind of a lazy way, speaking of lazy, like, but I could be wrong. This is just my opinion, but I like the story to keep going, not to go way back and start again.
I think it's all subjective, and it's also, you know, the skill of the storyteller. You know, the prequels or the pre-story, like The Hobbit compared to Lord of the Rings, you know.
Good example. No, you're right. I'm not saying that it's wrong to do that at all, but I have this somehow a resistance to it. But that being said, even though I've not watched Better Call Saul, I have researched it. I've looked at a lot of clips, a lot of little bits of it, and of course, I like Vince Gilligan.
I've never seen any of the.
That's cool. That's
never
interesting.
Seen Breaking Bad or anything. It was film. I know the entire crew.
That's interesting.
One, you know what I mean? They're all friends of mine, and
exactly.
It never piqued my interest to even delve into it once. But you know, even shows and movies I work on, I don't typically watch. It's very rare. And it's not, you know, it's not a principle of mine or anything. It's just,
that's
very
refreshing.
Specific take, you know, a taste.
That's very refreshing. And I actually resisted the whole Breaking Bad craze. I remember when I was working on Venice Beach, they started showing pictures of the main character.
It became trendy.
It was trendy. Heisenberg, the guy played by Bryan Cranston, the main antagonist or protagonist.
And I love him as an actor, you know.
Oh, I just adore his work in Drive with Ryan Gosling, one of my favorite movies.
Never seen it, but
oh, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous movie. Some of the best acting.
Yeah.
Carey Mulligan. Oscar, Oscar Isaac. Brilliant work by these guys. Cranston. I can't think of the other guys. There's some other big names in the movie, but one name, the guy that I wanted to talk about, Bob Odenkirk, caught my eye because of, I heard from him from Better Call Saul, but then I heard of a movie title that I liked. I love the title of this movie, Nobody. And it shows a guy all beat up, getting punched like just some, dirtbag, some nobody. I love the idea, the theme of, like, again, taking the normal, the low, some everyday guy that's just nobody, who's on a plateau, if you want to, you know what I mean? Like, he's just stuck, and then making this whole sort of movie about him where maybe he, transforms or ascends to a different level, but I love the title, Nobody. And then as I watched the movie, I became much more fascinated when I found out one of the actresses in the movie is Connie Nielsen, who caught my attention in the movie Gladiator from way back by Ridley Scott. And then she was one of the only ones from the original movie of Gladiator who also appeared in the sequel 20 years later, Gladiator 2. So this Connie Nielsen, I said, anything she's in, I'm going to respect it. I love Gladiator was one of my favorite movies.
That was a great movie. I did not see the second one.
I think I've seen it, or I've sort of multitasked through it and referred to it in the background, but maybe not sat and watched the whole thing. But I'm a big Denzel Washington fan.
Yeah, he's great. I haven't watched movies in a while. There was a little period at the end of the summer where I was watching movies. I think I needed to check out from real life. So
it's a big time cruncher. That's why I'm excited if we're going to maybe be able to work into we have to watch movies to talk about them on our show.
Sure.
That'll be kind of cool if we can.
Have you ever seen? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If we can pull it off, that's all.
Of course we can. We can pull off anything.
Ah. I love it.
It takes mutual interest and just the execution of it.
I love it. We can pull off anything. Here's another bit of optimism.
Yeah. Have we ever talked about Apocalypse Now?
No, but R.I.P. to Robert Duvall, your friend who you worked with.
Did he pass away?
Sorry. Yes. He just died yesterday.
Okay. Yeah. No, I wasn't aware of that.
He made it to 95, and he's getting, as you might imagine, just giant accolades from just about everyone in the industry. And I thought of you because of that lovely picture you had up in Jan's art shop with you and him, or he signed a photo for you, or whatever it was. It showed me that this guy Duvall, this titan Duvall, hung out with you and talked to you, gave the time of day to you, and just had that kind of patience and that kind of connectivity, interaction. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I feel like he was a great actor, and he's getting all of these accolades. Like, he really, really seemed to be a good friend to everyone. And I thought about how he was even, maybe not a friend to you, but he gave you the time of day. And
I've worked with him. Yeah. He was a coworker. So
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Apocalypse Now.
He owns, he's associated with some of the great movie lines, quotes or memes or moments in film history. There's a couple from that movie itself is, wow, they're just one of my favorite all time. Do you know the movie? That's what I'm on.
I've seen it once through all the way, and I really watched it, and I felt like that was enough It was an amazing film, but I will watch it again. It's so devastatingly, unbelievably amazing.
Yeah. Watch it again and let's discuss it.
Okay.
I would love that. Because that's I think that's a crowning achievement in filmmaking, you know.
I do too. I really do. And I'm fascinated about the novel that it comes from, Heart of Darkness.
Heart of Darkness. And there's a documentary called Heart of Darkness about the making of Apocalypse Now, which is just as fascinating as the film. It was directed by Coppola's wife. She was there, you know, through the whole process, and that is a fascinating story in itself.
Yes.
Let's put a pin in that. Let's do an apocalypse.
Let's do it.
An apocalypse episode. All our episodes are apocalyptic if you really think about it. At least my side of the screen. Sean.
I'm having an apocalypse.
Life is about strawberries.
Apocalypse Now.
Try be married to somebody who's got a personality disorder and just fucks up your entire life. I find beauty in strawberries as well, Sean, even though I don't eat them. I'm going to have to edit out bad language, I guess, huh?
Well, I was having an apocalypse.
It is the 21st century. It's 21st century, so anything goes, I guess.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Why? Who swore, you or me?
I did.
I probably did too, but I try to keep it rated.
I do too.
PG.
Swearing's overrated. Or underrated nowadays, you know? I like to use it for effect. Not as part of my normal...
No. It's an interesting concept, actually. The use of swearing.
Yeah, I heard my 6-year-old son, who's now 7, but I heard him say, "What the fuck?" And he's learned it from YouTube. And I didn't yell at him. I had a talk with him. I'm like, listen, when you find, you know that's a bad language, right? And he goes, yeah. And I let him know I'm not admonishing him in any way. We're talking person to person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I said, when you find yourself viewing stuff on YouTube that has language like that, I need you to just back out of it. You know, and I'm giving him that opportunity to filter, you know, on his own, as opposed to like, oh my God, I got to put child settings on this. I allow him to watch regular YouTube, not YouTube Kids. But I've discussed with him, I'm like, relying on your judgment of what's appropriate. It's an interesting dilemma because you can't stop these kids from being exposed. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like you can't. And
I think I
call me a bad.
No,
parent.
You can't. They're going to learn about the world, and
yep.
We want them to. That is the meaning. But it's hard as a parent with all the availability and the media. But even if you squelch it and censor it and shut it off,
more to find it, I think. And you know what? When we were kids, there was porn mags and porn movies, and we could. You can't filter it. I mean, you can filter it, but it's not a stopgap. You know, there's no way to.
No,
I also think policing your children like that's probably not good developmentally. You know, I think it's better to put trust in them.
Right, and that's the dilemma of the parent. It's the balance, and it is. I dare not say too much on it. I did some things right and I misstepped on others.
It's
And
amazing. Yeah, speaking of apocalypse now, the scenario of you with that light is almost Captain Kursk. Is it Kursk? Kursk? Yeah, Kursk, I think, was the character.
the horror. The horror.
Yes, I want you to watch. I would love it if you watch that again and we discuss that film.
I love to. Love to. It's such a great
We're up on our
movie.
time limit.
Yeah. I gotta go make dinner.
Yeah. No, I'm glad this was a surprise episode here.
Surprise take.
Yeah, but I love it.
I love it. I think there's some good stuff in it. I'm glad we did it.
I could go for another hour easy, but let's stick to our...
I have a few more notes, but they're actually repeat notes, both of them. They're throwbacks. One is a bad throwback that was only in a Hail Mary would I need that one, about Zen Buddhism.
It was only what? Hail Mary? What?
A Hail Mary. That one would have been like if...
I thought there was like some expression in the lexicon of society that I was completely unaware of.
Let's start one.
Strawberries are beautiful.
Yes.
The meaning of strawberries can be found in the... Did I just butcher that? There's going to be some editing going on there. Tomorrow, same usual bat time?
Yes.
Usual bat channel?
Yes, Wednesday at 3. I'll, who knows what I'll come up with, because I ran through a lot of my notes, but
good.
This will be good. Maybe I'll find the movie.
We need to keep evolving, man.
Yeah.
And it's free flow, you know what I mean? I love it.
Good.
All we need is one topic to start with, and it just goes its own way.
True. I feel more confident if I have some prep and some things to talk about. But it's good to. And plus, I'm out of light, so I can't see my notes anyway. So
I like it. All right, man.
Good. Okay. Thank you, John. Thank you to our lovely audience. You're not lazy. You're very, very smart. You're the best podcast.
Assaulted the audience today.
I was wrong. I take it back. You're the best podcast audience on the galaxy, the universe.
No doubt. Especially if you've gotten this far.
Yeah, we should give a free teddy bear to anyone that made it to the 59.8 mark. Free
Alrighty.
box of strawberries. See you, John.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.